Hello guys and welcome back to our channel. I welcome you to a powerful moment in American history. Senator Cory Booker has just made history with a record-breaking 25-hour filibuster, surpassing Strom Thurmond's 24-hour and 17-second record set during the Civil Rights Act of 1957. But what's even more remarkable is the passion and conviction behind Senator Booker's words. He's calling out the highest office in the land for trying to divide us, for trying to make us afraid, and for attempting to erode fundamental rights. He also aptly puts it, we are willing to go after speech on college campuses, willing to go after law firms, freedom of the press. Don't do that. Don't become like him. Now, these are words that resonate deeply with many Americans, particularly Black Americans who have been historically marginalized and oppressed. Now, in this video, we'll hear from my fellow Black brothers and sisters as they react to Senator Booker's powerful speech, from praise for his courage and conviction to reflections on the significance of this moment. We will take a look into the thoughts and feelings of those who are inspired by Senator Booker's leadership. So with that said, let's get started and explore this pivotal moment in American history together. I will be right back.
We have to excite people again. He, in the highest office of our land, wants to divide us against ourselves, wants to make us afraid, wants to make us fear so much that we're willing to violate people's fundamental rights. We're willing to go after the speech on college campuses. We're willing to go after law firms, go after the freedom of the press. Don't let him do that. Don't become like him. Be an American that says, I look to the future and I'm excited. Yes, things are tough right now. They're hard, they're scary, they're hurting, but we can overcome this. Our American history, if it's nothing else, American history, if it's nothing else, it is a perpetual testimony to the achievement of impossible things against impossible odds. We are a nation that is great, not because of the people that are trying to whitewash our history. To remove great people, Native Americans, Black people, and women from our military websites. I don't want a Disneyfication of our history. I don't want to whitewash history. I don't want to homogenize history. Tell me the wretched truth about America, because that speaks to our greatness. And so what do I want to people to do? It starts with us, man, and you're doing it. I've seen courage of my colleagues.
Everyone needs to be paying attention to what Cory Booker is doing right now. He's been on the Senate floor for over 15 hours, reading letters from constituents about how they're suffering under this Trump presidency. He's been using his platform to give a voice to people that have been largely ignored. We've all had criticisms for the Democratic Party since the election. Some people think what they're doing is performative, and others think what they're doing is just producing sound bites. And many of them are, but Cory Booker and many others are actually doing the work. I've been watching his speech all morning, and I hope what he's doing is inspiring some actual change within the party. We do not need our politicians to act like activists. We don't need them shaking the doors to the Board of Education. We don't need them taking a knee wearing kente cloth. What we need is them in those offices advocating for their constituents. We need our politicians to act like politicians. We need more people like Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and Cory Booker. And make no mistake, what Cory Booker is doing right now is going to inspire people to come to the polls. And that's exactly what we need, because we had such a low voter turnout for this last election. The more Democrats see what Cory's doing and are taking notes. This right here is how the Democratic Party survives, with its politicians acting like politicians.
As you've probably heard by now, Senator Cory Booker has just broken the record for the longest Senate speech in American history. And what makes this so poetic is that he, a Black man, broke this record, which was previously held by Senator Strom Thurmond, who was advocating against civil rights in 1957. The longest filibuster in history up until this point was against civil rights. A powerful moment, a powerful moment. And I know we all feel it. I watched some of his speech on and off, not the whole 25 hours, but on and off I watched some, and it's a powerful moment. So thank you, Senator Booker, and the people who continue to support the fight for what's right and for justice, and calling it out and bringing awareness to it and discussing it and addressing it and rectifying it at every stage. He said something. He said not just senators need to be empowered, but also civilians, all of us. So I want to get on here and say that I've been off the app for a little bit. I apologize. Really busy, really hectic, but that I had to get on here and say.
One thing about black folk, we resilient, and Cory Booker is about to show y'all another reason why they say black don't crack. The longest filibuster, to my knowledge, on record was Strom Thurmond in 1957 when he tried to get the Civil Rights Act blocked. Strom stood on the Senate floor for 24 hours and 18 minutes to stop us from having rights. You think for 1 second Booker can't stand longer than that to keep us from going backwards? For those of y'all that don't know what a filibuster is, the Senate allows for unlimited debate time. You need 60 votes to end a debate. So if you drag it out, you can ultimately the bill. Give a black man a podium and tell him he got unlimited time to speak, and he's going to use every bit of that opportunity. He has spent 14 hours and counting going off about Orange Boy's policies. He took to the podium and said, I'm going to collapse on this here floor before y'all get me to stop talking. And don't get it twisted, he's being supported. People are purposely asking him questions to give him a break from talking. MAGA can say whatever they want to say. People are tired and they want him and his constituents out of office.
25 hours. 25 hours is how long Senator Cory Booker stood and gave his speech on the Senate floor. He just wrapped up and he left the Senate floor. He educated millions across the world. He obstructed. I saw that Republicans, Mike Johnson, has canceled any other votes that they had for this week. He shut it down. Not sure if it's because of Senator Booker's speech, but yeah, sure ain't looking good for Republicans. They lost a vote on a bill on top of all of that. My head is still pounding. I'll see y'all later. Congratulations to Senator Cory Booker. He broke the record and he made Black America proud.
Okay, Cory. Okay, Mr. Booker, Senator Cory Booker. Now that's what I want to see. That's the kind of power the minority has in the Senate. That's the kind of stuff Mitch McConnell would do all the goddamn time. And I'm happy the Democrats are now realizing, oh wait, we can do this too. We can fight in other ways. Thank you. Now, let me just say this before I give him his flowers. I'm upset that Cory is doing this now when there's no legislation going through. He could have done this in January. Could have done this in February. He could have blocked every single one of DJT's cabinet picks. He could have blocked the CR bill if he did this earlier. He waited until nothing was happening. But what he's doing is incredible. 16 hours. And all he's doing is just talking. He's just talking about what? Medicaid, Social Security. He was reading letters from his constituent. This is just one Democrat. This is just one. Imagine if all 47, 48 did this. Nothing would get through. Nothing would get done. They can do this for the rest of DJT's entire term. If they wanted to. Don't ever say that you don't have any power. Don't ever say you don't have any pull. This is the kind of power the Dems have. So I would like to see it exercised going forward. Props to Cory Booker. A little upset that you waited. Damage was already done. But I'm happy to see you fighting now. Keep fighting. Let's see how long he goes. The live stream is still going. I've tagged his page below. Go watch it. Go support him. I want to see more of this. More Democrats in the Senate and the House should be doing this. Everything could be filibustered. Everything could be stopped if they fight more like this. More of this, please. I love seeing it. And thank you, Cory. Now let's see if you'll actually do it again when it matters. Stay hopeful. Trust your gut. Support Cory Booker. And always know you're not crazy.
It is official. Senator Cory Booker has yielded to the Senate floor. At 25 hours, history has been made. He has broken the record of Strom Thurmond for 24 hours and 17 seconds, which was what Strom Thurmond actually did to filibuster the Civil Rights bill or law. He didn't want people like me to be a part of regular society and have the rights and privileges of everyone else, of white people. He didn't want that. And now a black man has come along and broken that record. 25 hours. He broke it at 24 hours and 19 minutes. 25 hours. So now the question is, what will you do next? Where will you be on the side of history that matters to you the most? He indicated that it was not about left or right, Democrat, Republican. It was about right and wrong. Well, what exactly was today all about? It's all on record now. Everything. Stories of people's lives that are being unraveled against their will. People concerned about Social Security payments and how they're not able to reach anyone because of the lack of staffing. People that have lost their jobs because of strange firings by this organization called DOGE. So much has happened. If you ever get an opportunity to watch it, to listen to it, to hear snippets of it, you will forever see what is happening in this country by this administration differently. You cannot say that it is just about cleaning the swamp. People are being hurt. People are being sent to other countries erroneously. They're not getting rid of thugs. They're getting rid of regular people who were paying taxes because they had an opinion. They handcuffed a baby girl, 10 years old, on her way to school a couple of days ago. Where is she now? Where are her parents? She was shrieking and crying for her family, and no one helped her. What are we doing in this country? Who are we? And it hurts me to my heart to know that innocent babies, innocent people that only want to make sure that they are able to keep a roof over their head and food on the table and their bills paid and live what we believe to be the American dream should be able to do. What are we allowing? I'm not happy with this. And neither is Senator Cory Booker and others. He stood up today. 25 hours. I am proud of you, sir. Thank you. Bravo. Now, the rest of us, we got work to do. Take your positions. And let's all get into some more good trouble. I'll come back a little bit later and we'll do a recap of what happened today and some news. We'll see you around.
Now, the Democratic U.S. Senator Cory Booker accused President Donald Trump of recklessly challenging the nation's democratic institutions in a marathon speech that broke a nearly 7-decade record on Tuesday for length. Now, the 55-year-old New Jersey lawmaker, in a speech that began at 7 p.m. ET on Monday and went on for 25 hours and 5 minutes, criticized the crusade by the Republican president and his billionaire top advisor, Elon Musk, to slash large swaths of the federal government. Our institutions are being recklessly and unconstitutionally attacked and even shattered, said Booker, who was first elected to the Senate in 2013. Now, Booker, who is black, broke the record for the longest continuous speech previously held by segregationist Senator Strom Thurmond of South Carolina. In the summer of 1957, Thurmond launched a filibuster against civil rights legislation that lasted 24 hours and 18 minutes. In the end, Thurmond failed in his mission to block a bill that expanded federal protections of voting rights for black people. Now, Booker, whose speech was not a filibuster, which is a tactic to delay or unalive action on specific legislation, passed Thurmond's record and continued to speak. He repeatedly referred to activists getting into good trouble by speaking out against Trump's actions, using a term that the late Democratic Representative John Lewis, a civil rights leader, had often employed. Trump, in his first weeks in office, has moved to outright shatter government arms, including the Department of Education, and withhold congressionally approved spending. His administration has also questioned the authority of the federal courts to constrain its policies. Democratic voters have become restive in recent weeks as Trump, backed by a Republican-controlled Congress, has shaken up long-established U.S. alliances and cut more than 100,000 federal workers. Their anger has been aimed both at Republican lawmakers and the party's own leaders, including top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer and top House of Representatives Democrat Hakeem Jeffries, for not being aggressive enough in challenging Trump. Now, Booker, who unsuccessfully ran for the Democratic Party presidential nomination in 2020, began his speech on Monday evening by invoking late civil rights activist and Congressman John Lewis's call for Americans to get in good trouble. Necessary trouble. What has happened in the last 71 days is a patent demonstration of a time where John Lewis's call to everyone has, I think, become more urgent and more pressing, said Booker, a former mayor of New York who was first elected to the Senate in 2013. And if I think it is a call for our country, I have to ask myself, how am I living these words? So tonight, I rise with the intention of getting in some good trouble. I rise with the intention of disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate for as long as I am physically able. I rise tonight because I believe sincerely that our country is in crisis. You don't insinuate fear among vulnerable communities. You don't insinuate fear among our elders who deserve our respect and deserve to retire with dignity, Booker said. Now, a White House spokesperson dismissed Booker's speech as another attempt to generate an I am Spartacus moment, referring to Booker's invocation of the 1960 film Spartacus during the 2018 confirmation hearings for then Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. When will he realize he's not Spartacus? He's a spoof, Harrison Fields said in a statement. As he wrapped up his speech on Tuesday evening, Booker returned to Lewis's history of civil rights activism. He said he had to do something. He would not normalize a moment like this. He would not just go along with business as usual, Booker said. Now, he added saying, this is our moral moment. This is when the most precious ideas of our country are being tested. At approximately 7:20 p.m. Tuesday, Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer briefly interrupted Booker to inform him he had broken the record. Do you know how proud this caucus is of you? Do you know how proud America is of you? Schumer asked. The chamber erupted in applause. Booker did not immediately end his speech, but continued speaking. From all Americans, this is a moral moment. It's not left or right. It's right or wrong. Booker said after continuing his speech and touching on everything from cuts to federal programs initiated by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to the controversy surrounding Trump administration officials' use of the Signal messaging app. Booker wrapped up his speech and finally yielded the floor to another enthusiastic round of applause at 8:05 p.m. ET. Over 24 hours, Booker's comments addressed a wide range of topics, including the Russia-Ukraine war, USAID relief in foreign countries, concerns about cuts to medic aid, and slashes to Social Security officers, among other issues. Now, in addition to Thurmond civil rights era filibuster, Booker's also bested two more recent marathon Senate floor talks. In 2013, Republican Senator Ted Cruz spoke for 21 hours, advocating for the defunding of Obamacare. And in 2016, Democratic Senator Chris Murphy spoke for 15 hours, pressing for action on pew-pew violence. For the entirety of his marathon talk, Booker occupied the small square of space surrounding his desk. Once the speech began, he did not sit down. He did not eat. On his desk, 2 glasses of water had been refilled at various points. On occasion, he leaned on the lectern, wiped his face with a handkerchief, but by the time the record was broken, Booker was also wearing a black suit, had still not loosened his tie. I've got fuel in the tank, man, Booker said during the 15-hour mark on Tuesday morning. He also read aloud letters that he said were from constituents and quoted speeches from figures such as the late Senator John Lewis, who famously advocated for good trouble in the fight for justice and equality. As long Booker held the floor, the Senate has not been able to conduct other business unless he temporarily yields. Now, Booker has entertained questions from the lawmakers, allowing him short breaks in speaking, but he's been careful to note that he's returning the floor so as not to break his continuous hold according to Senate procedural rules. He's had to remain standing during these questions periods. Now, I love what one of the brothers said in the videos. This is what we need to be seeing. He's absolutely right. Like, we need to see more of our leaders standing up for what's right, fighting for justice and speaking truth to power. Senator Cory Booker's filibuster was more than just a symbolic gesture. It was a powerful statement of resistance against the forces of oppression. It was a reminder that our voices matter, that our words have power, and that will not be silenced. This is what we need to be seeing. Leaders who are willing to take a stand, even when it's hard, even when it's unpopular. Leaders who are willing to challenge the status quo, to confront the powers that be, and to fight for a better future. We have finally come to the end of the video, but what do you think about Senator Cory Booker's speech? Share your thoughts as well in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video.